FC Dallas are meant to start at 7. Live from Fresno, California, you are watching the USL as this evening Fresno FC play host to St. Louis, who are on a terrific run of form. They've won 4 on the bounce, including on Wednesday night over Sacramento Republic. Meanwhile, for Fresno, their home fans happy to see them again. It's been over a month after a 4-game road trip for Fresno FC that saw them just take 2 points and currently sit 4 points adrift of that 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. They're going to need a win tonight against a red-hot St. Louis side, and it is with St. Louis that we begin. They've been terrific. Starting matches have goals in the opening 5 minutes of the last 3 games, Gary.
Yeah, they certainly have. Famuel Kavita giving them the goal to start there. Another one coming. You'll see what a goal this is. Kadeem Dakers cutting in on his right. They scored 4 goals against Las Vegas Lights, and they have been in great form, as you say, early on with so much energy and getting goals right ahead of the opposition.
Kadeem Dakers with a beautiful strike there, and also taking sizable leads into the halftime break. 2-0 against Seattle, 3-1 against Las Vegas, and 2-0 on Wednesday night against Sacramento Republic. As well, 5 goals in the last 3 games, the opening 15 minutes of matches. It's not just scoring early, but adding to that lead very quickly as well.
Must be something in the food or the drink, whatever it is, they must keep on doing it.
And they've also done it at home as well. They'll have to do it away from home against Christian Cheney and Fresno. Cheney earning his way back into the team with a late goal against LA Galaxy 2. Very powerful on headers, Gary.
Yeah, fantastic header from a standing still position. Absolutely brilliant. Coming off the bench here, but wasn't able to get his team any points on the day. We'll see him again. Look how he climbs up. And if he's given any space tonight, he will cause trouble.
Incredible power on the header and earning his way back into the starting 11 of Adam Smith and Fresno FC, who have not won in 4 matches, but all of them were away. And now back at home back home at Chukchansi Park, they'll try and get 3 points once again. Fresno FC desperate to climb back into the playoff places, but currently holding one of them is St. Louis FC, who have won 4 on the bounce. They're going to take some beating. Fresno FC will give it a go. Coming up next. Fresno FC playing host to St. Louis FC. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, as Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. As our matchday referee leads us out onto the field, we take you into the St. Louis FC starting 11, a change in goal with Tomas Gomez coming in. St. Louis also keeping that 3 at the back shape.
Yes, Tomas Gomez comes in. Michael Cox starts as well. So does Albert Dikwa. And Tyler Polak, a new signing, comes in at that sort of left wing-back position.
And for Fresno, just the one change in that back 4 with Alex Cooper coming in. And then we mentioned in the build-up, Kristen Cheney leading the line in for Frank Tayu.
Yeah, keep an eye out also with Jamal Johnson. He scores goals for fun, and you add that to Christian Cheney, and it could be an exciting day out.
As we are underway from Chukchansi Park, Fresno FC playing host to St. Louis. Mark Allerton, our matchday referee, as Fresno come out in their navy blue home kits with the navy blue shirts and shorts, with St. Louis going from left to right in their change away strip of white with green and blue. Fresno FC coming in off a 2-1 loss away to LA Galaxy 2. They have not been at home since July the 14th. Over a month, 4 straight away matches. They took just 2 points on their travels and now see themselves with 9 games left to play out of the playoff picture and needing a win tonight to really climb back into it. As for St. Louis, they're on exactly the opposite run of form. They have won 4 on the bounce, including on Wednesday night a 2-1 victory over Sacramento Republic. But in terms of rest, Fresno FC would have had a week to come back home and get things restarted, with St. Louis now playing 3 matches in a week.
Well, for Fresno, it's all about doing well at home. Yes, they haven't won in 4, as you say, all away from home. They have 6 of their last 9 at home. And if they can get the wins, which they have done, they've won 4 of their last 5 at home. So the home record is really good. If they can win all 6 of those 9, there's still a chance they can make these playoffs. So it needs to start here for Fresno tonight. Get that home form going, get 3 points in the bag, and then they'll be right on the cusp of making the top 8.
As Juan Pablo Caffa will take the free kick, it hits the frame of the goal. Juan Pablo Caffa, so dangerous from set pieces, and the captain nearly giving Fresno the early lead.
What a strike that was from Caffa. Absolutely brilliant. Keeper might have had it covered, but a strike from a long way out, and it thunders against the woodwork.
Straight away, Fresno into the chances. Incredible beginning to this one, as Jamal Johnson will send the ball long, in the end going out of play. You mentioned Tyler Pollock on that left-hand side, signing from Miami FC2. As you take a look at another opportunity for Fresno.
Oh, wow.
Plenty of power, and Tomas Gomez with no chance.
I think the keeper was there and thereabouts. Maybe he would have covered it if it was going in, but the strike, the power, the direction, wonderful, wonderful piece of skill there from Juan Pablo Caffa.
As it will be another throw for St. Louis, who do keep their 3-5-2, 3-4-3 shape. Wallfall and Lewis Hilton in the center of the park will have some work to do. St. Louis really found success. This is actually Anthony Pulis, their manager's preferred formation, but on personnel elected to play a back 4 for most of the campaign. But since they made the change, it's led to quite a bit of success, and it seems to have worked for them. Yeah,
it certainly does. It puts a lot of emphasis on the 2 wingbacks, in this case Tyler Pollock and Austin Ledbetter, getting up and down and doing a lot of work. Your 3 at the back sit in the central position. Lewis Hilton and Wallfall will also be fairly central. So big gaps down the width, out wide, and that's the space for Pollock and Ledbetter to work in.
Nice long ball sent forward by Tomas Gomez, is now first forward move for St. Louis. The ball comes off of Michael Cox in the end, out for a throw-in. Tomas Gomez in goal has exchanged the position with Jake Fenlison. It was thought at the beginning of the season, when Gomez came back from injury, that he would no doubt have the #1 shirt and hold it, but Anthony Pulis at times has preferred Fenlison. Now, you wonder if this is rotation or preference, with St. Louis playing 3 matches in a week, giving Gomez the opportunity. This is a Golden Glove winner in USL 2 years running, but but at times Fenlison has looked the better goalkeeper.
Well, if you have two good goalkeepers, sometimes it does work to rotate them, and they keep sort of having to outdo each other to keep their place. I mean, goalkeepers can play 3 games a week, so if you wanted to stick to one, you can do. And therefore, I think he's saying to them both, come on, outperform each other, and that's what you want. Every position, you'd love 2 players trying to outperform each other.
As Pollock and Hilton are over the set piece. Interesting to see a new addition, given at least an opportunity to take some of the set pieces.
Yeah, he's a player with a good American history, U17s, U20s for his country.
As it'll be Hilton who will take the free kick. It's a decent one, but over everyone. And Pedro Ribeiro just allowing it to travel out of play.
Yeah, frustrating when you get those set pieces. It doesn't get to anybody. Just watch it run through. Always feel it's just stick it in the middle and something might happen. But when you knock it over all your players here we come back to that free. Now that is a free kick. Wow.
Accuracy and power behind it. As Pollock takes it off the chest, but Kaffa will just watch it run out of play. Kaffa, a player who has produced a high level in USL last year with Tulsa Roughnecks. 9 goals and 8 assists this year. 7 goals, 4 assists. So right back to it in USL, and it has sometimes come from those free kicks as well. This is a player with La Liga experience. La Liga getting going this weekend. Played 27 games in the Spanish Primera with Real Betis.
That's a very, very good level to be playing your football. So you can just see by the way he strikes the ball that he's a very, very skillful player.
Here's Ronnie Argueta, who will partner with Pedro Ribeiro in the center of the park. It is a 4-4-1 look for Fresno FC. Ramon Martin del Campo will partner with Mickey Daly at center back. Argueta again. In some space. Ribeiro does wear that number 9 shirt. He was meant to be the number 9 for Fresno, but has converted. Playing in the center of the park. Alex Cooper getting far forward from his fullback position. Interchanging with Jamal Johnson, who has presented a goal threat at times this season, but the goals have dried up a bit for him. Leads the team with 8. St. Louis's top goal scorer, Kyle Gregg, on the bench with 9. Again, just a matter of rotation. St. Louis, between injuries and just keeping a relatively thin roster. Again, only with 5 changes available. 3 players out tonight due to injury, they being Jonathan Barden, Austin Martz, and Seth Rudolph. Have all missed prolonged periods of play.
Well, nothing wrong with putting Kyle Gregg on the bench and saying to the likes of Michael Cox and Albert Dick, well, go on, let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can bang them in the back of the net. Rotation for me always works well because it keeps players fresh. It gives those on the bench a part to play. And it also pits one player against another and says, hey, you know, he scored X, see if you can beat X and you'll stay in the team. Great for competition.
And Michael Cox scored on his debut. Joins from Nashville SC in USL. Scored against Las Vegas Lights towards the end of their 4-1 victory at the Toyota Stadium. St. Louis profiting from their home matches as Lewis Hilton and Wall Fall coming together and eventually losing out. Here's Zach Ellis-Hayden, who certainly loves a 4-way forward. Kaffa. And the ball long and well out of play.
It's a well-struck ball. Nobody ran into that space, so maybe he's trying to get his players to push on into those spaces, try and be positive, go for the long ball. If I was playing with someone who can strike a ball as well as Juan Pablo Kaffa could, I'd also be making runs into the far corner, saying, because he can pick you out from almost anywhere.
Well, this is a harsh standard to measure St. Louis FC against. They have not scored in the opening 5 minutes for the first time in 3 matches.
Crisis.
They have scored 5 times in the opening 15 minutes in their last 3 games. In Seattle, Las Vegas, and Sacramento.
Well, it shows you a good spirit coming out of the locker room. If you keep doing that as a habit, it's not just luck, it's because you're going at teams, you're being positive.
As Cooper plays in Jamal Johnson, flag stays down, low cross is in, and Kavita more to just boot it into Rosette.
Yeah, playing safety first there. Get rid of the ball if you're not quite sure what to do with it. Seems to be a nice noisy crowd in the background.
Yeah, the supporter section in behind that Fresno goal in this first half. Jamal Johnson to take this corner for Fresno. Leave it short here with Danny Barrera, who will return it for the Mancunian. Lofted in. A powerful header away. Kafa and Ellis Hayden will again send the ball into the area, and Gomez tracking it well and catching.
Well taken by the keeper, but if you float the ball in with too much time, any good keeper such as Thomas Gomez will come and collect that. You want to be drilling the ball in low and hard, keeping it away from the keeper, making sure he can't come and fetch it.
And for Gomez, it's not just that he was a Golden Glove winner in USL, it's that he's a local boy, born in St. Louis.
All right.
I figure he'd have first dibs on that goalkeeping position, but it's not really been the case. Started the campaign with a leg injury, just the first 6 weeks or so. Has made 10 starts, this his 11th. Here's Kavita, who along with Sam Fink and Sean Reynolds have mostly made up that back three. In the period that they've been deploying this system.
You mentioned Jamal Johnson a moment or two ago in attack, and he was quoted as saying that for him this match is like a World Cup final. He feels his team have to win at Fresno, they have to get a result. And I know World Cup finals may be pushing it a touch, but yeah, great. Why not have that spirit?
Have that urgency.
Yeah.
They need it. They come into the evening 4 points off of San Antonio, who are off this weekend, but they've already played 2 more matches, and this will be their 3rd match more. So San Antonio will have 3 in hand ahead of Fresno. So it really isn't necessarily about looking at the table. It's about possibly winning 6, if not 7, of their last 9 matches to get into the postseason.
Well, if 6 of them are at home, I think you could start off by saying win every home match.
Sure.
Maybe throw in 1 win away from home and you can make it. So tonight's crucial. I mean, I get what he says. In a way, it is sort of like a World Cup final for Fresno, because if they don't win tonight, it makes it extremely difficult to actually make that top 8, and that's what it's all about.
And in some ways, it's a 6-pointer as well, because they would be chasing St. Louis. They're 5 points off of St. Louis as well, so a win tonight could take them within 2 of the current 7th place team in the Western Conference as Jamal Johnson tries the cross in, and again, it will result in a Fresno corner.
Well, that's exactly what Adam Smith said. You've actually quoted the manager. Well, really, he did say it's a 6-point game. And I agree with you. This is one of the teams that Fresno can catch, is St. Louis. So no better way to start than beating them here on home soil.
Another corner for Jamal Johnson. Again, Barrera, the short option. Starts the run from what would be the warning track of the baseball stadium, as it comes out to Cooper, who sends the cross in. Dealt with by St. Louis, only as far as Gafa. And a poor ball from Argueta will go out of play for a St. Louis throw.
Opportunity lost. You get a set piece, you play it back, you knock it wide, you knock it out of, there we see the band, but for me it's a wasted corner.
Local politicians joining in.
Oh, wow.
In the supporter section, we're told.
Has he got rhythm?
He will certainly be given instruction. As is well taken there by Cheney to hold up the play. Here's Jamal Johnson with a good challenge in there from Wallfall. Shows real power in that tackle. Now forward here is Herzog, who's gone for the bleach blonde hair, tries to slide in Michael Cox. And the end cleared at Fresno. And a foul given against Sean Reynolds will be a free kick for Fresno. Kafa going down.
Got to be careful with the raised foot there from Sean Reynolds. Let's just have a look at it again. We'll be careful that referees will pull out a card if your foot is raised too high as a defender. Couldn't quite see it, so we're giving the benefit of the doubt.
There you see Adam Smith, the first-time manager, former assistant with Sacramento Republic, in charge of this Fresno side. As you see there, just coming together between Cheney and Sam Fink. So it will be a free kick.
2 big boys coming together there. Have a look here. Does he pull him? I mean, he keeps it in play, Cheney. Is he holding on to Sam Fink? Yep. Left arm gives him a little bit of a tug.
do see a few dead areas in the pitch. You wonder if they might come into play.
Anthony Pulis there, studying hard with his team, because they've done extremely well, no question about that, but you don't want to undo all your good work. You've got your team in the top 8, you're heading into the playoffs, you don't want to be dragged back in the final stretch. So for Anthony Pulis, still a lot of thinking, pushing, cajoling, and winning games to go before he can relax a little bit.
Well, there's still 10 matches to play. There is some concern about perhaps peaking too early. They're on a hot run of form. If they drop off at all, then they're dragged right back into that playoff chase. They're winning a lot of games, and certainly you never complain about 3 points, but it will take something to sustain it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're rotating, of course, different players come in different positions. You know, some battle to bind and understand each other. So you, as a coach, are watching for this all the time. Have I put the right player in? Do I need to make a substitution? Can I play this player again next game, or must he be rested? There's a lot of computations going on in most coaches' minds.
And now there is actual data to help with that too. Sports medicine trackers that are keeping the levels of the players and
heat maps, heat maps, shots at goal, yards covered. you might need a degree to be a coach in future.
Certainly, at the very least, trusting the team around you as the foul comes in against Cheney. Now Del Campo had the opportunity to just send forward. He'll elect to play it short here with Argueta, who leaves it for Ribeiro. Taken by Kafa. Ellis Hayden flying forward, but Barrera waiting a second before feeding him in. Argueta. Both central midfielders kind of holding off for making their forward runs. Good tackle in there from Albert Dikwa. It's all the way back to Kyle Rainish in goal, who has been the regular first-team keeper, making his 21st start tonight. The entirety of his career has only been a second and third choice keeper. Despite being 35 years of age, he only made 38 appearances in varying clubs that he had been with, mainly as a backup.
Wow, 35, sorry, 38, and he's 35 years old.
Correct.
Wow, well, he must be loving the spell in the first team.
Absolutely. Then. With RSL, New York Cosmos, New York Red Bulls, Chicago Fire, Atlanta United. He's been the backup, which is a job, which is there. Obviously, most teams keep 3 keepers. Yeah,
it is, but I'm sure once you get the regular starting spot, which he has got, he must really be enjoying being out there, not being sat on the bench.
No question. As Hilton will try and send the cross in. Cut out well there by Ribeiro. Austin Ledbetter joining on that right-hand side. Did not play much for the majority of the season. The right wing back. And then some departures, including Hayden Stanley, who had been a regular first-team left back, going off to college. Open up some work at that full-back position. Better, one of the players who was taking advantage of that, is booted away there by Del Campo, out for another throw. I might just wonder with the narrow pitch, if there's opportunities on here for a long throw.
Yeah, we'll have a see if he's got the distance. Absolutely, I think a long throw is almost as good as a corner. In fact, some cases it is. If you, I see what you mean about the hair. It's unusual hairdo. It's not so much more, but let's just judge him on the throw. See if he can launch it into that area.
And it is in towards Fall. Header comes in, but totally clearing their lines. Fresno does come out to Tyler Pollock. Reynolds thought he might have left it there for Kavita and said sends it long. Now, but the challenge coming in from Ellis Hayden. 50-51 by Hilton, who goes down after the challenge. Advantage given from Mark Allerton. Fall. Pollock. Back for Hilton, who appears to be okay to carry on.
Yeah, very quick recovery from Lewis Hilton after that scream in midfield. But it was a high foot, and the referee will have to keep an eye for any dangerous tackles. But just looking at St. Louis, if you're a Fresno fan, you're thinking we have to win this game. And yet St. Louis seem too comfortable on the ball. They're playing it around nicely. They're a team in form. I think if you're Fresno, you've got to take it up a level. You've really got to get stuck in. You've got to pressurize this St. Louis team who have got so many good results. And right now, it's just too easy for them.
You just wonder the difference in confidence as well, as Hilton will try and play the ball over the top towards Dikwa, but the assistant on this near side with the flag raised. It'll be a free kick for Fresno, but 4 wins versus 4 games without a win. St. Louis are probably playing with all the confidence in the world right now.
And you can see it. I mean, they are very comfortable on the ball. They've had, I would say, slightly the better of the first 20 minutes. But Fresno have to win. You can see Adam Smith getting a little bit uptight there. They have to do something. The onus is on them. St. Louis can walk away from this with a draw, and I guess they'd be happy. Fresno can't. They've got to get 3 points if they want to make this top 8.
Already tonight, before even starting play, have been jumped in the table. They're now bumped down to 12th with Oklahoma City Energy, currently winning by 4 goals to 1. Excuse me, 4 goals to 2. Rio Grande Valley just scoring. With only a few minutes to play, you'd imagine they'll be on their way to 3 points, and Oklahoma City Energy will move ahead of them on 32 points. Fresno coming into the night with 30.
Yep. I don't think there's any doubt about it that for Fresno, this is a case, I think you said it, winning 6 or 7 out of the remaining 9. If you can't do that, you're not going to make top 8. So, and you've got to start here. This is a home game. You don't, there's no question about settling for a draw. No, if you're Fresno, you have to go and win this. You have to be positive.
How that might be reflected in the changes for Adam Smith, as have a couple of center forwards available to him in Renato Bustamante and Frank Tayu. Branish sending long. In the end, Anthony Poulos will chase it down. He thought for a second he was back playing.
Yeah, I'm sure all coaches get that feeling. They wish they could be back on the pitch. The thing is, when you're a player, you only have yourself to worry about and maybe a couple of players around you. When you have a coach, or when you are a coach, you have all the players and the staff and everybody else to worry about. So I think once you are a young coach, you sort of do wish you could go almost back in the womb. Just go back to being a simple player without any worries.
And as a player, you have some impact on the result. Obviously the tactics and all of that, but you can actually go out there and make a play. As you see there, there's Michael Cox just allowing the center back to climb over him, that being Del Campo. Took quite a fall. And I was wondering if they might, but after the advantage was given after the tackle on Lewis Hilton, they do go back and give Ellis Hayden the yellow. So a first yellow in the match. We've received confirmation on that. The referee gave advantage, and he's certainly well within his right to, after the play is over, give the yellow, and he does for Ellis Hayden. So he'll be...
Well, good on him, because it looked like a dangerous tackle, and Lewis Hilton went straight down, and the classic hand up in the air and the scream, but I think he thought he'd been hurt because the foot was high. So yeah, I'm all in favor of referees protecting players.
As Michael Cox does well to earn St. Louis FC the corner. It'll be Hilton to take it. It'll be either Pollock or Hilton. Pollock serving as the third option.
Have a look, there's a queue of 4 white shirts.
Does look like a training ground routine. Kavita trying to flick on. That ball perhaps with not enough air underneath it. As Reynolds and Del Campo, or rather Cox and Del Campo come together. It will be a free kick against St. Louis. It's Michael Cox, who did play previously under Anthony Poulos in Orlando. And you see here just the coming together.
Yeah, I think Del Campo was just waiting to feel an arm on his back. That's where Cox must just let him. He's running out of real estate. Let him run out of real estate. Don't touch him. Don't make it easy. Instead, then I'll get a free kick and the pressure's off. So for Michael Cox, just a little bit of over-exuberance there.
The 26-year-old Canadian. He play in Canada with FC Edmonton. As Ribeiro thought about the first-time strike, instead takes the touch around the defender. It's swept clear. And the header just rolls out of play. Out for the goal kick. You do see the 335 sign over in that far corner, which would represent the distance for a home run at the Chukchansi Park. Also home to the Fresno Grizzlies in minor league baseball. is a multi-purpose field with Fresno FC and Fresno Fuego, a PDL side playing here. Full professional side. As the touch was a bit loose there from Cavita, nearly giving away, but getting just enough on it to feed it in the path of fall. Just being tripped up there was fault. The challenge of Ribeiro. He's going to ask for yellow. And the referee Allerton is just going to have a talking to with Pedro Ribeiro.
Must admit, Will Fall's a player that I really enjoyed watching last time out. He's been injured most of the season. German background, but a wonderful touch on him. Has the ability to run and lift up his head. If he's given the chance to run, that is. But he can run, lift up his head, take on players, and very elegant midfielder, I think, is a good way to describe him.
Comes from Rochester.
Of German background, isn't he?
Yes, he is indeed. He played in lower leagues in Germany and in Austria before coming to the United States. 25 years of age from Frankfurt. He too starting the season on an injury. He's become a regular in the team. Rainish. Hayden flicking on. It's a nice touch there from Barrera. He returns the favor. So good passage of play here towards the run of Ellis Hayden, but just ran with a bit too much pace away from the overlapping right back, and Tomas Gomez can claim.
Yeah, keeper comes out well, confident, takes control of the situation, and lovely pass coming through here. And the keeper does well, but you'll see he stays down because he's waiting for the impact. He's making sure he hasn't been kicked. No one stood on him. That's what keepers normally do. You wait for it. No, nothing's hurting. I'm good. I can get up.
Almost look like you play dead. As the first time ball is towards Ellis Hayden. He's made a real impact when he's played. He's dealt with a few injuries here and there. His 12th start. Also missed a game due to yellow card suspension. He too a player for Anthony Poulos at Orlando City B.
He's got something to prove against his old manager. That always adds a little bit of spice to the occasion.
Sure. Seeing a familiar face.
But here we are, 26 odd minutes played, and Fresno have had one attempt, real good attempt on goal, which was the early shot from Juan Pablo Caffa that hit the woodwork. And I'm thinking, if I'm a Fresno fan, we need to start upping the ante now. We need to start putting a bit of pressure on. And I don't quite see enough of it just yet. Maybe I'm impatient, but I'm sure many a Fresno fan is feeling the same way. Come on, give us more.
Falling in the path of Abertigua. Ledbetter. St. Louis very comfortable in possession, patient as well. Here's Fall. You can see, despite his height, at times it does impede the technical ability of a player height, but as you mentioned earlier, has that elegance on the ball. Has kind of physicality to ward off defenders. In the path of Cox, who tried to slide in Dikwa, but wasn't able to get that ball off. Cox. See, Cox and Del Campo have already had a few exchanges. Cox not a fan. Fink. All the way back to the goalkeeper. As you mentioned earlier, Gary, very comfortable possession at times. Yep. They do at least force St. Louis back, but remain on the ball. And it's a good ball in the path of Dikwa. Slid towards Cox, but cut out there by Mickey Daly, but only as far as Tyler Pollock.
There's too many of these passes that are too easy for players to receive them, turn, and then attack Fresno defense. Look at this
Ball
again. Edge of the box.
The cross comes in. The touch, Fall with the shot. Dikwa on the header. It's a double save from Kyle Rainish. Dikwa was offside, but Rainish doing very well to keep it 0-0.
Fantastic from the goalkeeper there. As you say, wonderful double save. He's not to know who's offside or not, but wasn't it far too easy? We were just saying that. Far too easy for St. Louis to play around in the box. First the strike, then that's a lovely save. Wow, that's one for the scrapbook.
I think he almost rather Dikwa Ron so that it could really count.
But there was a couple, yeah, there's the header and there's the second save, but the ball into the box, the turning on the edge of the box, all done without any pressure from that Fresno defense. That's a warning signal to Fresno. They've got to tighten things up from now on. Otherwise, the St. Louis side, who are in great form, are going to come away from this match with something tonight.
Anthony Poulos just having a yell at his players, but that actually was incredible build-up. If I told you you weren't watching the USL, you were watching a top European league, that was about a 30-pass sequence that went all the way back, came back, and they probed as Jamal Johnson tries to just go direct, shot into a defender, but probing and passing and probing and passing, and then creating the opportunity. One of the better moves we've seen all season, Gary.
That was some lovely, lovely football, and praise to St. Louis for creating it. But again, you've got to look at the defensive qualities and say, was it St. Louis being absolutely brilliant, or was it Fresno sitting off? I think that man there is worried. He's saying, hey, get tighter, don't let them turn this easily, because if you let St. Louis play, they are going to hurt you.
And we've seen the Cameroonian Albert Dikwa throughout the season, and you wouldn't want to give him that pocket of space again. He was wide open in the center of the park, unmarked, and was allowed to charge at that defense.
Exactly. But well done to the keeper. Lovely double save. Second one, absolutely superb. And as you say, I think he's really upset it was called for offside.
Hopefully it'll still go in the save of the week running.
Yeah.
Well, it would not technically be called a save.
Was the first one a save?
Yes.
So then just add the second one and it's all part of the save.
Just, you know, just edit it. Just leave a little bit extra in there. You'll have to edit it out. Hilton. Ledbetter able to sort out his touch. And with a half hour gone, it'll be a throw-in for Fresno. St. Louis have gone through some difficult games in their schedule, playing Wednesday night against one of the top teams in the Western Conference in Sacramento. But now she'll see a lighter portion of their schedule. Just a few teams below the playoff line, including Fresno tonight. Then they're home with Tulsa Roughnecks, who are bottom of the Western Conference. Away to Seattle, who are second bottom of the Western Conference. And then back against the playoff side in Portland Timbers 2 away from home.
So for St. Louis, it looks good. It looks good that they'll finish in the top 8. And looking at the way they play, they're an excellent team. Well drilled, well organized. You can see Anthony Poulos doing all the talking and cajoling, but look at the way they do build up their attacks. Brilliant.
Lovely ball from Fall into the path of Ledbetter. Here's Cox on the turn. Continued interplay. The 1-2 there might still fall for Dikwa, and Raynish making sure and just slapping it out of play.
St. Louis FC.
Raynish busy these last few minutes. Certainly pressure coming from St. Louis. Lovely play around the edge of the box. Beautiful football. Let's have a look at it again. Too much space, players being able to trap the ball, turn, shoot, all on the edge of that Fresno box.
And I thought Cox was trying to play the return ball for Dikwa. He was trying to shoot, but it took a deflection off a Fresno defender, so it will be a corner. This time it'll be Pollock, the left footer, swing the cross in. All the white shirts were going near post, and his ball went far post, so Fresno will play out now through Del Campo.
Once again, one of those frustrating set pieces. Does everyone have to go near post? Can't you spread out? Have somebody far post, someone middle, someone near post, so even an overhit set piece still finds one of your own team.
Ellis Hayden into the channel for Barrera, who's into the penalty area. Barrera cutting onto his left, looking for the right option. And a few too many near post runs. Here's Ellis Hayden to strike! It hits the frame of the goal and goes in! Zach Ellis Hayden with a staggering strike. Kaffa hit the bar earlier, but Ellis Hayden hits the post and it goes in and gives the hosts the lead. They lead by a goal to 0.
Absolutely brilliant. What a strike. Thomas Gomez, don't worry. Nothing you could do about that. Brilliant. It flew in, hit the post. I want to see that again. Magic, magic. We've seen 2 wonderful strikes from Fresno tonight. The first one from Kaffa hit the woodwork. This one goes in off the post. Let's have a look at the build-up. Nicely set up to the edge of the box. There's a touch, another touch, and pick that one out, goalkeeper.
I think this will be a fantastic view of it. As sends the defender the wrong way, inside of the post. Amazing. Absolutely superb.
Could we have the goal of the week and the save of the week from the same team, Fresno?
It's entirely possible. And there have been some screamers at to Chuck Chansey Park this season. Major Ribeiro comes to mind, hitting a thunderbolt from about 35 yards out. Fresno, I believe, as well, securing a victory from about 85 yards out, I want to say. It was the goalkeeper coming forward for the last corner, and the Fresno striker sending it in for about 20 yards behind the halfway line. Wow. Lofting it in the air. This is one of the smaller pitches in USL, but still from a long way out. I believe it was Frontayo, if I remember correctly.
Well, it'll take something to beat that goal we've just seen from Zach Ellis-Hayden. Fantastic strike.
And now St. Louis trying to find the response as Herzog will clip it back for Pollock. It's a good ball. Tries to peel it back for Michael Cox, but the assistant's flag had gone up. Would you say that Ellis-Hayden goal was against the run of play?
I was just thinking the same thing, that they hadn't done enough for me, Fresno, and then they pop up and score, and I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I should shut up. Because that's all you have to do is score. But it wasn't enough. They gave St. Louis too many opportunities. It could very easily be 1-0 the other way. So I don't think Adam Smith is going to be delighted with the overall play. He'll take the goal, absolutely. But the overall play, I think Fresno needs still need to do more if they're going to walk away with all 3 points.
Ribeiro going to slide it in the path of Cheney, but he was off. It was Barrera on the end who was offside.
Yeah, no question about that.
He drifted off.
Yeah, well offside. Everybody else stopped running. Got to be careful knocking the ball after the whistle's gone. You can get yellow carded for that. Let's have a look here. It looks, from our angle here, it looks well offside.
Depending on when that ball was first hit, but Barrera was a step off. At least in the view of the one man who matters, that being the assistant on that far side.
Yep. No VAR yet.
Not as of yet in USL. Hilton. Cooper. Given away in the center of the park there by Fresno. Hilton. Sends St. Louis in a more direct approach towards Michael Cox. Does eventually earn the throw. Cox will leave it for Ledbetter. Instead of swinging it towards the area, does leave it for that right center back, Sam Fink. Sean Reynolds. Return to move away from Kaffa. Deliberate again, St. Louis. Cox. Fall.
This is good possession by St. Louis, and it can tire you out if you're Fresno. You're running, you're closing down, and the ball gets passed. You've got to run again and close down. Towards the end of the match, you can get some very heavy legs. That's why it's important to get possession. St. Louis are just dominating, and can I say far too easily, halfway in Fresno's own half.
Yet somehow St. Louis trail. Well, not somehow.
A wonder goal.
Powerful. And also a brilliant save from Rainish as well. Obviously, Adiko's was saved, but the power on the strike from Fall was impressive as well. Yep. Even though it was relatively close to the keeper, Rainish still doing very well to save.
Yep. You're quite right. You need a keeper in form if you're to do well, and Carl Rainish certainly, with that first save, was fantastic. The second one even better. So confidence for the Fresno defense when you look behind you and see Carl Rainish.
Returns back to his native California. Had not played in California since 2006. Glad coming through PDL in this country. Reynolds with the header towards Cox. Sometimes it's struggling a bit to hold up, but earns the free kick, and straight away the ball is put in play towards Albertiqua, but the path of Rainish. Get Fresno started here through Argueta. The nice ball for Alex Cooper. Hasn't had too much of the ball on this left-hand side. A poor giveaway in the path of Lewis Hilton, though. He's trying to find Jamal Johnson. And instead it was Diko who finds Jamal Johnson. Here's the Manchester-born winger trying to heel it towards Cheney.
He's been a bit too quiet, hasn't he, Jamal Johnson? Normally such an influential player, great scorer of goals out wide on the left. Haven't seen too much of him in this first half as yet.
Ellis Hayden. Barrera. Argueta. Another California-born. Barrera from Colombia. A few South Americans in the team. Ribeiro in the center of the park as well, and Cafa from Argentina. A pair of Englishmen, a diverse squad for Adam Smith. It's a ball over the top. Not what Fresno were looking for and out of play.
Yeah, it's a little bit too long there. You've got to give everyone a chance to get on the end of the ball. And possession lost again. Fresno not as fluid in attack as St. Louis are. But they lead 1-0.
I mentioned Jamal Johnson, though, a well-traveled player in England, played for 6 English clubs, including currently in the Premier League in Wolverhampton Wanderers.
All right.
Also with Leeds, Preston North End, Milton Keynes Dons, Port Vale, South End.
Call a well-traveled footballer.
Yes, indeed. Now on his 10th club, I believe. Actually 11th, because I failed to mention he played in the Premier League with Blackburn Rovers.
Okay.
In the United States with Fort Lauderdale, the New York Cosmos, and Jacksonville Armada. As Herzog does eventually flick on in the path of Pollock, the debutant, trying to slide in Herzog, but well dealt with. Pollock is an inspirational player down that left-hand side. Loves a four-way forward. As the sliding challenge came in over on that far side, the assistant's flag went up. It'll either be a free kick or a throw-in for St. Louis. As a man down over there on that far side. I believe it's the goal scorer, Ellis Hayden.
Look at Fresno FC. Stay connected with
Referee Mark Allerton just having a word.
FFC boxes on Facebook, Instagram,
Just wondered if he thought the foul was a little bit over physical.
Social media platforms.
I think that's just the conversation that Mark Allerton is having with Tyler Pollock. USL with FC Cincinnati before joining Miami FC2 in PSL. Won that league. Here's Fink. And Hilton. St. Louis with the majority of the possession in this first half. According to our friends at Opta, we've had 58% of the ball. The goal comes for Fresno FC and Zach Ellis Hayden, his first of the season. First for Fresno, and some way to get it as well.
Tell me about it. What a strike. Didn't give Thomas Gomez any chance of saving that.
Now trying to play the ball over the top for Cheney. Able to get the better of Kavita, but he forced to clear.
Fresno, I can hear you.
You talk about possession, and it's mostly for the away team, which again seems to prove the point that Fresno need to do more if they're gonna walk away with all 3 points.
Johnson with the header back towards Cheney, who does get the touch and strikes straight at Gomez.
Nice turn and strike from Cheney there. Didn't quite catch it enough, but certainly worked the goalkeeper, and that's what you want to do. Let's have a look at it again. Knock back from Jamal Johnson. He's got his back to goal, turns, and gets a shot on target, which takes some doing from that angle.
I believe it came off Fink on the way through. Otherwise, it might have been headed for that bottom corner. It was a very well-done turn there by Cheney. Loose touch there from Hilton, giving away for Jamal Johnson. Ledbetter towards Michael Cox. Gets his touch on it, leaves it for Albert Dikwa. Lets him decline the run of Herzog and carries on himself. Cox on the edge of the penalty area, cutting onto his left, strikes towards goal, and Rainish down to his left. Just to make sure, it might have been heading out of play anyway, but Rainish claiming.
Comfortable save for the goalkeeper, but once again, St. Louis playing too easily around the edge of that box of Fresno. Look at this, edge of the box, getting shots in, passing the ball. something Adam Smith has got to try and sort out at halftime. How do you push further up the field, keep St. Louis away from your box, away from the danger area?
Fans, remember to visit the Fresno FC team store, located in the southwest corner of the concourse
word from the ground that we will expect 1 minute to be added on.
Gear. Fresno FC kits and Adidas collection are in stock.
The end of this first half.
Check out the latest in
Fresno FC
FresnoFC.com.
hitting the front. Free kick given away there by St. Louis in the center of the park. Herzog the culprit. Cooper with the cross. Fink dealing with it. Now wall fall. Ball to the path of Cox, who just takes the touch around the sliding Del Campo. He carries on his way, and the referee, Mark Allerton, will give a free kick in a fairly dangerous area. Snapping in there from Alex Cooper on Cox, and will be a yellow as well for the Fresno left back.
Yeah, Cox doing really well there to turn and run with that ball, use his pace, use his physical strength there, and drew the yellow card. And he's saying, look at my ankle, look at the kick I took, but the card has been given. Let's have a look at it again. Does really well there, uses his body, gets in front, draws the tackle.
1 minute of stoppage time. 1 minute stoppage time.
There's confirmation of the 1 minute to be added on from our fourth official.
It's now both fullbacks of Fresno with yellow cards, Zach Ellis-Hayden and Alex Johnson. Shows you that they're coming under pressure and being attacked.
So it will be a free kick. Hilton or Pollock can take it. And it'll be Hilton who will play it low, peeling it back. That was a training ground routine. Struck towards goal by Cox, but unable to keep it down.
Clever, clever move. Everyone went in. Cox comes out. He's on his own. Free kick goes straight to him, and he gets a shot on target. Not a great shot, but again, too easy a strike. Fresno got to be a little bit sharper there. You can't allow people to line up shots on the edge of your box, because just now one will fly in, and then Fresno will be in all sorts of trouble. But as it stands, we're going in after all my criticism and saying they need to do more to win this match. They're 1-0 up, so well done, Fresno.
As Mark Allerton blows halftime on this one. Fresno FC not had too much of the balance of the play, but they only needed the one chance and have got the one goal through Zach Ellis-Hayden, who struck from about 25 yards out in off the post. It was a stunning goal to give Fresno FC the lead. St. Louis might be encouraged by the performance, but they will not be encouraged by the halftime scoreline. Once again, your halftime score is Fresno FC 1, St. Louis 0. Coming up at the half, we'll bring you first half highlights and the best from around USL. That's coming up here. Fresno 1, St. Louis 0.
helps provide the energy that keeps Fresno doing on and off the pitch. Don't miss these Zorros on the road.
Welcome back to live coverage of Fresno FC playing host to St. Louis FC this evening here in USL League play. Fresno leading by a goal to nil through Zach Ellis-Hayden, the Canadian, giving Fresno their advantage. St. Louis playing very well in that first half, but don't have the goal to show for. Let's take a look at some of the upcoming fixtures for both of these teams, starting first with the visitors, St. Louis. They have a decent run of games coming up here in terms of ability to profit. They take on Tulsa Roughnecks coming up next, who sit bottom of the league, but since changing manager have looked a little bit more of a threat. Yeah,
well, you've got to take advantage of teams that are struggling. So if you are St. Louis and you've got a good run coming up against Tulsa, you've got to put them to the sword. You can't take any risks. They're just barely in the top 8 at the moment, St. Louis, and currently 1-0 down.
Sure.
So, yep.
As you have a look there at the full schedule, it gets really difficult at the turn of September. Away to Portland Timbers 2, home with Reno, at Real Monarchs as a 3-side in the postseason. So between tonight, away from home against a team below the playoff line, and then Tulsa and Seattle 2, bottom of the table, you're going to need to pick up some results here.
Yeah, absolutely. You must pick up results when they're there for you to win, because against the top sides, it's very difficult.
Sure. Away from home as well.
Yeah, away from home. So, you know, you don't want to end up 9th and 10th and look back and go, wow, we threw points away against teams we should have beaten.
Meanwhile, for Fresno FC, they have some difficult fixtures coming up as well. Beginning first away from home in Las Vegas to take on Las Vegas Lights. You've seen that a couple of times recently, Gary. And then as well taking on Reno and Swope Park.
Las Vegas, one of those teams where if you've got them at home, chances are you get a good result. But at their place, not so easy. They're a different team altogether. And this is going to be a tough one for Fresno.
Spurred on by that home crowd at the Cashman Stadium. And you have a look here at the upcoming schedule for Fresno. Some playoff teams to play for them as well. Home with Reno, home Orange County, home Portland Timbers 2. They're all at home, but those are some difficult teams to face in your run-in to try and make the postseason.
Yeah, Orange County, very, very good side as well. So, but the bottom line is, if it's at home, doesn't matter who it is, you've got to win your home games. And that's the big challenge for Fresno. It's a challenge which so far at half-time they're living up to.
Yeah, a point off of San Antonio in the live table and 2 points off of St. Louis. Mentioned the six-pointer nature of this match, and so they would pull within 2 points of St. Louis on the current result. At around this time, we'd like to show you the best from around USL, and tonight we'll bring you a feature on one of the key figures for San Antonio FC, Greg Cochran.
And a big special thanks to the official food sponsors of Fresno FC.
Cochran tonight appearing in his 71st career match with San Antonio FC. He's been with the club all 3 seasons, most consistent there on the back end.
I felt like my whole life I've always had to prove people wrong. Getting cut from the state ODP team when you're 13 because you're too small, and then in your club team you sit on the bench until you're 16 or 17 years old because you're too small. Everything kept referring back to you're too small. There's no better feeling in the world of being able to look at someone that told you no and to be able to say, I told you so. You kind of see it all when you go through times of playing, getting cut, being someone on the field, playing all the time. It kind of gives you a good grasp of where different players are and what their mentality might be. It's definitely shaped who I am. I wouldn't change anything for my career or for how it's gone. Not only have I grown as a player, I think I've grown as a man in terms of being able to deal with anything that I really think that's thrown at me. I think there's a bunch of different ways that you can be a leader. Bring my lunch pail to work every single day, and I try to get better every day. And if I have that kind of mentality and other people see me pushing, regardless of what we're doing, that's the kind of leader I want to be. This is my 3rd year here, and to be able to stay in one place and to really grow with it has been a tremendous honor, and it's something that I don't take for granted at all. Every time that I step on the field, I hope that I represent this club and this city. It's a privilege to play for such a passionate fan base. I'm Greg Cochran, defender for San Antonio FC.
Johnson! You've got to be kidding me! Oh, what a finish! Prowling Spruce! Dante the other way! Oh, what a goal! Near post! Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward! And what a world-class goal that is from
As we take a look at the upcoming schedule for our ESPN matches, it continues Wednesday with Phoenix Rising playing host to San Antonio FC. San Antonio and Rio Grande Valley will feature plenty in the upcoming schedule, but at the bottom right there, St. Louis FC taking on Real Monarchs. That'll be a difficult one for them. And it really accentuates what we were talking about earlier. They've got a difficult schedule coming up, and they need points.
They certainly do. I wouldn't fancy St. Louis there against Real Monarchs. That could be a tough one. But I think you must take it game by game. Phoenix Rising have got a couple of tough games coming up, and they've been dropping a few points. So as far as St. Louis are concerned, they've got 45 minutes to turn around today's result against Fresno. That's where I would start with. That's the focus. Do that job and worry about Real Monarchs down the line.
And then as you look at the ESPN schedule, 4 really good matches available on ESPN3. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, a pair of matches tomorrow. Certainly, both of these teams will be keeping an eye on Swope Park Rangers. They currently sit 9th in the Western Conference. They take on Reno 1868, a quality side in the Western Conference. And then a Cascadia rivalry game between the two sides, Portland and Seattle. And then Wednesday, Portland again back in action. So a Sunday, Wednesday for Portland Timbers too. They take on Orange County on the Wednesday. And then, as we just showed you, our ESPN match with Phoenix taking on San Antonio. Swope Park, no doubt, the big fixture for these two teams.
Yep, a tough match there. But you have a look at the schedules. It's Sundays, it's Wednesdays, it's Sundays again. It's getting to that stage of the season where you're playing twice a week. You're on the road. Legs are getting tired, and it's important for players to keep pushing right to the end. You don't want to be in a great position and then find you lose the last 4 or 5 games and slip out of the top 8 or slip out of a home game in the top 8. So crucial stage of the season and crucial stage of this match as well.
Fresno FC at the half, leading by a goal to 0. We'll come back with the first half highlights.
Fresno FC, we want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and supporting your local Foxes. We did not have professional soccer in the Central Valley without the support.
Welcome back to live coverage of Fresno FC playing host to St. Louis. Fresno leading by a goal to 0. Let's show you the first half highlights and the goal, a spectacular one from the right back for Fresno as we get into our first half highlights. And the chances would begin straight away in the second minute. Juan Pablo Caffa off the bar.
What a strike that was from a set piece. Absolutely brilliant with that wonderful left foot of his. I think Thomas Gomez might have had it covered, but either way, what a fantastic strike.
You talk about pinpoint, kind of hits the intersection of the post and the crossbar, as here would be Zach Ellis-Hayden flying forward, a hopeful ball that ends up being claimed by Tomas Gomez in the end. It was a nice passage of play, but
brave save. You're diving at two sets of feet. One is your own defender, and they can kick you as well sometimes by mistake.
St. Louis would have their fair share of chances. This was after a terrific pattern of play. Ledbetter with a cross in, dealt with by Del Campo. Fall with the strike. Reinish, a terrific save. Antigua, a double save from Reinish.
Brilliant, brilliant double save from Reinish there. First one from Wolfall came hard and fast. As we look at Wolfall knocking it out wide. Gets hit in. Defender leaves it right in the middle there. For first save, good. Second save, absolutely brilliant.
And here would come Zach Ellis-Hayden again on the charge, and he would carry on his run. Barrera would pull it back, slide in Ellis-Hayden, and here would come the magic.
This is phenomenal strike, absolutely brilliant, set up by Barrera, but the strike is all Ellis-Hayden. No chance for the goalkeeper. And you'll see when it comes to him, Barrera on the ball here, when it comes to Ellis-Hayden, he takes it, he's not quite sure if he's going to pass it, what's he going to do? He then sets it up in his right foot and unleashes a rocket in off the post.
And to me, the thing that sticks out that I didn't really kind of pick up in the initial passage of play was he played the initial ball for Barrera and then followed it with his run towards the edge of that area. An incredible strike for Zach Ellis-Hayden, his first goal for Fresno FC that gives them the lead. There you see the first half stats. St. Louis very much on top of possession, but haven't created too many opportunities.
Yeah, it's showing more shots for Fresno than St. Louis. That's not how it felt, but maybe it was more about possession. St. Louis just looked so comfortable. They always seemed to have the ball, and they were always around the edge of the Fresno box. But clearly, not enough shots on target as far as St. Louis are concerned. As far as Fresno go, they need more possession. You can't keep defending the whole time. And you can't rely on wonder goals and great free kick strikes. I'd like to see Fresno get on the ball more often, be more creative. They are at home, and as we said at the beginning, they have to win this game if they're to try and make the top 8.
And St. Louis, you saw there the double save from Reinish, but Dikwa was actually offside for that second chance. That did not count as a shot on target, even though Reinish would probably prefer that it would.
Reinish not interested in what you think. As far as he's concerned, it's a double save.
It's a double save. He'll remember it that way. As you see, Kyle Gregg is on the pitch. A good spot there from Gary.
Yep, important to get him on, isn't it?
Yeah, halftime sub with St. Louis trailing. It'll be Michael Cox who will make way.
He's your top goal scorer, Greg. So, and Dakers, I believe, is coming in.
I believe so.
And that's two big changes for St. Louis, and basically it shows that Anthony Pulis is saying, guys, I don't accept this result. Get out there and let's try and get ourselves back in this match.
It is indeed Kadeem Dakers coming on for Corey Herzog. So a pair of changes for Anthony Pulis out of the halftime break. A bit strange considering that his team did play very well. Obviously they need the goal and they need the 3 points, but I did not think it warranted 2 halftime changes from St. Louis given how well they played.
Well, but maybe that's the point. They played well and didn't get any efforts on goal, not enough, except for one fantastic double save from the keeper. And maybe he feels, hey, with that amount of possession, we need more efforts on goals. We need to make their goalkeeper, Carl Reinish, work a lot harder.
As Albert Dikwa goes down there. In a dangerous area for St. Louis to strike on a free kick. Juan Pablo Cafa having a go at our match day referee. As the thinking was the defender got a lot of the ball here on the tackle. Let's have a look here.
It's hard to see just how much ball and how much foot, but the referee's right there. He sees it, and we'll just go with what he says.
A trio of white shirts fancying this free kick. This is a perfect opportunity to strike from about 23 yards out. Gallatin establishing the wall.
You've got Wolfall here. We've seen him shoot earlier. You've got the left-footed Tyler Pollack, who would love to score for his new team.
And it will be Wolfall to strike. And Kafa had a terrific free kick towards that end in the first half, and Fall wasn't too far away.
He wasn't, but it didn't cause the goalkeeper too much trouble. Such a lovely striker of the ball here, but it's over by a good yard and a half or so, and I think Carl Reinish was just happy to wave it goodbye. For me, I always want to see the goalkeeper work. And in fact, we saw the great Lionel Messi score today under the wall. So I don't care how you get it to the keeper. Try every trick in the book, but just get it on the frame of the goal.
Kafa. I believe the goal of the World Cup as given by FIFA was for a free kick under the wall, scored by Colombia as the corner, or rather the cross comes in. Dealt with there by St. Louis. Greg. And Fall saw Dikwa charging forward and tried to play him in, but too close to Del Campo. And Reynish for Cooper. Jamal Johnson. Gonna try and slide into the path of Cheney. He's going to try and get the better of Kavita. But the DR Congo native doing very well. In USL with Rayon Monarchs. Also a veteran of Puerto Rico FC. Fault with a nice touch. And a lovely flick there from Dacres. Going to try and play in Greg. He was wrestling there with Del Campo. Just went too far out in front.
I think you'll see with Kadim Dacres that one of his instructions will be go right through the middle. They call it vertical. Just go straight through the heart of the defense. Let's not play too many balls wide. I wanted to go from Kadim Dacres to Kyle Gregg. I'm pretty sure that's one of the instructions they were given at halftime.
And we showed you in the build-up to this one the stunning goal for Dacres for his first of the season against Las Vegas, coming in off that left-hand side and curling one into the top corner. Anthony Poulos might be looking for similar inspiration from the Rosedale, New York native. Here is Ellis Hayden. Barrera will clip the cross in. Big communication there at the back, allowing Fink to head away. Ribeiro. Del Campo with Fresno playing a fairly high line here. Just given the license to go and chase that second rather than hold on to the lead. Cooper going to send the cross in towards Cheney. And Kavita trying to get something on. In the end, it's Gomez who catches.
Much better from Fresno in the start of the second half. They pushed up, as you said. They're more positive. They're creating more around that box of St. Louis, and they're bringing the goalkeeper in here to do some work. So this is what Fresno fans want to see from their side. Pushed forward and making life a lot more difficult for St. Louis.
Hilton with the ball over the top in the direction of Dacres. As we showed you earlier, St. Louis have conceded the first goal 10 times this season, have won just once. But if they are to do it, it would certainly be on the run of form that they've been on. Playing the kind of soccer that they have tonight. Certainly had plenty of quality in their build-up. Hasn't really led to a goal. St. Louis, in this run of form, they've mostly gone into the half with big leads and have protected them in the second half. So they've only scored once after halftime. That was a late goal from Michael Cox against Las Vegas just to seal 3 points. As here is the challenge from Greg on Ribeiro that earns Fresno the free kick.
I think you can see from Kyle Gregg that his instructions also get in there. Let's get this game going. Yes, they haven't scored in the first half, which they have been doing, but his instructions, make sure you score in the second half. We need goals. So it's wonderful. We're seeing two teams here who are both being positive. Fresno pushing up and trying to pressurize St. Louis. St. Louis have made 2 subs, and they want to get stuck into Fresno. We've got a great second half.
As Cooper just trying to keep it in play, the referee saying play on. Multiple white shirts with their arms up. Signal the ball going out of play, but assistant referee not agreeing. Ellis Hayden with the cross in, taken off the chest by Cheney. A nice touch, set himself up to strike. A brilliant save produced by Gomez. That was lovely from Christian Cheney.
Fantastic strike from almost nothing, edge of the box. Brings it down, hits it quickly, gets it through a whole forest of legs and forces the keeper into a good save. Much better Fresno.
As Greg holds up for St. Louis. Dikwa over on this right-hand side, Ledbetter charging forward. Little cross towards Greg. And in the end, it's too close to Reynish. I believe that's Dikwa who goes down. Just wonder if the referee might stop play. As have a look at this opportunity. The ball comes in from Ellis Hayden, taken well off the chest, and then that first touch is magic.
Brilliant skills. Chest, then knocks it over the defender. Have a look here. Chest, knocks it over the defender. Volley. Keeper makes a really good save.
And that kind of traffic to pull off that kind of touch over the head of the defender. As the free kick is given to St. Louis. Christian Cheney has looked in the mood tonight, despite not scoring just yet.
Well, if I was playing around him, I'd be giving him the ball, saying, if you can do that more often, let me pass it to you.
Ball towards Greg, cut out well there by Daly. Mickey Daly and Ramon Martin del Campo have mostly made up that center back partnership for the majority of this season. Ball clipped towards Dakers, but cut out by Ellis Hayden. Fall doing well to get the touch to leave it for Sean Reynolds. Started every match of this season for St. Louis. And now Dakers charging towards goal. A pair of challenges come in, and the referee, after a little bit of deliberation, gives the free kick. A pair of blue shirts coming in for the challenge. Now another decent opportunity for St. Louis.
Well, this is the job that Kadeem Dakers was given, is turn and run at them, be vertical, go for the heart of the defense, and draw a foul or create a chance for Carl Gregg. Is exactly what he's doing, Kadeem Dakers, making a difference already.
And it's Argueta and Del Campo who came together. Around Dakers, the halftime sub, who charged on there. And now Mickey Daly getting instructions in the wall. What Tomas Gomez wants. Hilton and Pollock over it from some distance. Hilton will still strike towards goal. And sailing over that outfield wall.
Disappointing. Again, want to hit target. If you don't make the goalkeeper work, you can't score. So I don't know if they're trying to hit these balls in the top corner and be a Lionel Messi, but it's not necessary. Just hit it, even hit it low, and force the keeper to have to make a save when strikers are running in on the keeper. So whatever it is, chances being thrown away here by St. Louis.
Might just been outside of striking range a little bit as well. Maybe try and loft the ball in and the big men forward to get a header on it. This will be a free kick the opposite end of the pitch here for Danny Barrera. Now, this looks more like the kind of range where you get your center backs forward and stick a ball in the penalty area.
There's a few hands in the center pointing up, saying, I want the ball up in the air.
Try and put it in that corridor of uncertainty between the runners and the goalkeeper. Barrera lofting it towards that far post. Del Campo with a header on it. And Gomez just watching it go wide.
It's a good set piece, good free kick there, because it is hit into a decent area. It gives the big center back a chance to win the ball, which he does. Nothing comes of it, but at least there was a chance. We've seen in the first half a couple of free kicks hit too long. They just go over for a throw in or hit too short and get cleared. That's frustrating.
Lewis Hilton. Pollock. And largely on this season, it's been Hilton responsible for being that distribution engine from the center of the park, but Fall certainly has joined him in that effort. They look a real combination. Here is Wallfall. And Dikwa flicking on for the German. A nice turn. Played into the path of Dikwa, but well read there to come inside by Barrera. And now Ribeiro away. Pollock. Ribeiro doing very well to recognize the threat. Ellis Hayden. Good distribution from the central midfielder Ribeiro. Kafa to try and swing the cross in towards Cheney. We showed you how he can rise and head those goals in the pre-match. And now Cooper to try and dig one out again. Cheney again with a coming together with Fink. St. Louis just about able to deal with it.
That's a good passage of play there by Fresno. Some lovely football they played in the build-up. One touch, good cross coming in, good efforts in the box, challenging for the ball. That'll make the home crowd shout and play their drums and sing their songs.
Reynolds. St. Louis coming in, winners of 4 consecutive matches. And again in midweek as well. I wonder if the legs might start to go with a 3rd match in a week. Fresno certainly looked the brighter in the second half so far. But some decent build up here for St. Louis. Ledbetter to try and play the cross in. Dacre's the intended target. Cut out well there by Ellis Hayden. Fall with man on. Dacres. St. Louis all evening long have calmly passed the ball around. Without it really being ponderous. It's been probing. It worked to spectacular effect on the best chance of the match so far for St. Louis. And again, a free kick opportunity. Multiple challenges coming in. A pair of white shirts down in Dacres and Dikwa. But it's the first one that earns the free kick for St. Louis FC.
Could be a bit of frustration here, Fresno. They haven't seen the ball for the last 5 minutes. Just been St. Louis playing, and as a player, you don't want to be running and closing down and then more running, and then eventually you get the boot in, and you let the opposition know that you want to get the ball as well. You want to play.
And Ellis Hayden's got to be careful. He's on a yellow, and he was the one who fouled Dacres there. Fresno would not want to go a man down with still a half hour to play and only the 1-goal lead.
And lose their hero? No, not at all.
And Hilton with a nice lofted ball towards that back post. Header across towards Greg. Well read there by Fresno at the back. And heading away for a Fresno throw.
Good pressure from St. Louis here again. Lovely ball from Lewis Hilton. Headed back. Keeper stranded for a moment. Nearly an opportunity there for the equalizer.
And it was Fink who got first to it. And well read there by Daly to deal with it.
Yeah, Daly with a good clearance. And now there's some argument going on.
Yeah, the referee and the assistant just gonna have a quick conversation. St. Louis players vehemently arguing that it was their throw, but the assistant on that far side getting a throw for Fresno. Now Cheney, again, he's been in the mood tonight, and he's again on his way with a lovely flick to play himself on. Will slide in Barrera. Flying forward there was Ellis Hayden. It's Barrera to strike, and Gomez was nervous. It hit the top of his goal.
Not a bad strike from Barrera. Certainly made the goalkeeper scramble across, as you said. A lot more positive for Fresno going forward. It started with Alex Cooper down the left-hand side, switched sides. Yeah, not too far away. Let's look at it again. Had the right curve, just a little bit too much height.
I believe it hit that back stanchion of the goal. My favorite part of that replay was Ellis Hayden as a blur through the screen, making that overlapping run. He can fly forward.
Well, he's the star of the show so far. Goal of the season, or certainly a contender. And a contender for save of the season as well from Carl Reinisch, if you include the second save.
Dacres trying to work around multiple defenders, but sliding in to win it was who else but Ellis Hayden. Cheney unable to hold the play up. Not too many options with him. There's Tyler Pollock. Certainly been given license to go forward. But a loose touch there from Dacres gives the ball away for St. Louis. Well won though by Pollock. They try and slide in. Dikwa does Dacres. Dacres again. Might fancy a strike. It's a lovely turn. Goes down right on the edge of the area. The referee waves away any whistle. Could have been a penalty. Could have been a free kick. But it's a goal kick in the end for Fresno.
Yeah, there wasn't enough for me for a penalty there. It looked like he just felt a little bit of a touch and went down. You can see again his instructions, you know, cause problems, get on the edge of the box. Let's have a look. Nah, no ways at a penalty. But the intention's good. The intention's to attack, to probe. And for me, Fresno have to be careful. They're only one up, and they're allowing St. Louis to have a lot of possession. And if you keep having that possession and start creating opportunities in that box, you're likely to get an equalizer.
Taken down again by Cheney, and again doing well to hold the ball up. Barrera going to slide in Ellis Hayden. Demonstrates his pace. Dig out the cross. Took a deflection on the way through. Will still fall for the Colombian Barrera. Again for Ellis Hayden. He's really looked the part at right back this evening. Here's Pedro Ribeiro. Lovely touch around Wall Fall, but Fall recovering well to slide in. Greg might just win the ball off of Daly, but center back doing well to step in first. Argueta going all the way back to the goalkeeper, Rainish. St. Louis now trying to pack on the pressure. Kyle Gregg with a few lung-busting runs. Cheney again trying to hold up, but his header falls to Pollock. Now Gomez will settle possession.
It's sort of settled the match for the moment, hasn't it? It's all gotten a little bit quiet. Is it the quiet before the storm? Is it St. Louis get an equalizer? Could it be Fresno go and get a second? Let's wait and see.
Reynolds with the run forward, giving away. But Ellis Hayden nearly gave away, and he did in the end. Well read there by Dikwa. Hilton finding the young Cameroonian. Fall and Dakers. This is the kind of position that he struck from against Las Vegas. The challenge comes in. Fall will have to keep it in play. And just about did so. Judgment of the assistants. Now Dikwa in a pocket of space tries to play in Ledbetter, but cut out well there. The strike comes in anyway from Kyle Gregg. Plenty of power on it, but high and wide.
It's a good strike. It's a quick strike as well. He hasn't got much time to set himself. Gets a lot of power behind it, and he's not too far wide of the wide frame. And that's what they're on for there. Kyle Gregg and Kadeem Dakers, both of them have been given instructions to get in there, create attacks. Look at that quick turn and strike. I tell you, if that goes in, that would be one hell of a goal.
Kind of out of nothing as well. I believe it was Jamal Johnson got the defensive touch, but it fell to Gregg, who struck first time. Well won there by St. Louis by Kavita. Pollock. He's had a lot of the ball in this second half. Lewis Hilton, the Englishman, playing in Dikwa, the Cameroonian. Fair bit of United Nations on the field tonight, as Kavita, the DR Congo native, putting it out of play. Christian Cheney having a go at the referee. Not giving a foul there.
Got to be careful chirping the referee. You can't keep having a go and complaining. I didn't see much wrong with that. Christian Cheney sort of headed down to get the ball. The foot wasn't that high. Let's have a look.
Also a forearm into the side of the head of Cheney, at least in his judgment.
But if it's not given, can't keep shouting at the referee, because eventually he'll book you for dissent.
And now Gregg allowed to turn. He's going to slide in Dakers into the penalty area. Kadeem Dakers across the face of goal. Not sure if that was a cross or a shot, but either way, it's an opportunity lost for St. Louis.
Certainly is. What a great chance there. We said that Dakers and Gregg would come on and create opportunities, and it's Gregg who sets this up, puts it through for Dakers, times it perfectly. You think you've got to hit target here. Maybe just allowed the ball to go a little bit too tight, closed his angle down, but still so close. Kyle Gregg there just jumps up with frustration in the middle of the goal, and you can see that opportunities for St. Louis are beginning to come now. It's going to be a tough time for Fresno to hold on to this lead.
So they might just have to extend it, which is what Barrera's going to try and do here. He'll play in Juan Pablo Cafa. A fairly anonymous figure this evening. Ellis Hayden. We did see there in that last counter the danger of him going forward, but he presents a problem himself as his cross comes off of Tyler Pollock in the in and out for a Fresno corner.
I'm tempted every time I see Ellis Hayden with the ball just to shout, shoot! After that goal in the first half. Wow, what a strike that was.
It will be on Pablo Cafa to strike from this corner by the warm-up mound. On what would be the third baseline. Thomas Gomez is wanting to take command of his area. Kafa will swing in the corner, and Gomez able to catch, coming off his line just that little bit.
It's too easy from a corner there. You're going to float it with that much height on it. You've got to get it away from the goalkeeper. In the end, wasn't even a challenge. Wasted opportunity for Fresno. As you said, and I think you're right, they probably need a second to make sure that they walk away with the points tonight.
Reynolds. And Fall. Dikwa again going down. It was Del Campo this time with the challenge snapping in, and Dikwa just saying that it's twice now that he feels like he's been fouled with no whistle. Sometimes look like he's gone down a bit too easily.
Yeah, tough one for the referee. He's got to have eyes in the back of his head to see exactly what's going on with everybody.
Johnson giving away. Recovered well there by Fresno. And it's a good ball there from Barrera to Alex Cooper on that far side. Also a pair of defenders trying to work around Ledbetter. Is at least playing Jamal Johnson. We'll leave it for Barrera. There's a nice little dummy there on the edge of the area. Ellis Hayden. Guetta trying to flick on. Cheney will take it down the edge of the area. We'll leave it for Jamal Johnson. Here's Johnson for two. And it comes off Cheney and somehow does not go goal bound. And Thomas Gomez very fortunate to take command of that one.
Wow, that was close. I thought that was going in from Jamal Johnson. Now it's at the other end of the pitch.
And it's Dikwa who strikes straight into the back of a defender. Now going down there is Fall, and another dangerous free kick for St. Louis. End-to-end stuff, and St. Louis will have another opportunity from a dead ball.
They do. Lots of free kicks coming here for St. Louis. But let's have a look at that other end there. Jamal Johnson with the shot. I thought it had got across the goal to the man waiting in the middle, but somehow it ends up Thomas Gomez makes the save and gets the rebound. Let's have a look at this again. Does the rebound come off Christian Cheney?
Yeah, it does. So I think without Gomez getting a touch onto it, it's into the path of Cheney and it's 2-0. But because Gomez got something on it, it kind of hits the back of Cheney, and Gomez able to hang on to it.
Now straight from that chance for Fresno, it's down to the other end. And you made the point, they're giving far too many free kicks away here, Fresno. One of them is going to fly in the back of the net. Let's wait and see if it's this one.
Pollock and Hilton have both had their goes. Rather Fall and Hilton. Might it be Pollock's turn to strike? Ball had to go at it. As it'll be Wallfall again, going far post, and Rainish covering and parrying away for a corner.
Good save from Rainish there. At least this time Wallfall tests the goalkeeper, which I'm pleased to see, and the goalkeeper rises to the occasion, makes a good save and pushes it out for a corner. You see it from behind, bends the ball around it, goalkeeper side, good save.
And it will result in another St. Louis set piece, this time from the corner. It'll be Pollock to swing it in. It's a dangerous one. Christian Cheney rising, as he usually does at the other end, and heading away, but Fall can play it out the other side. A nice turnaround Cooper. And now the return ball for Fall. Digs out the cross. Greg was rising, but it's Rainish who gets the fist to it. And it just went over the head of Greg, who could have made it double digits with that goal.
Rainish, another vitally important interception with that fist. Took it off Carl Gregg's head, because as you said, it was a good ball in. Greg was set up to head that one. Keeper comes to save the day yet again.
St. Louis packing the pressure on to Fresno after what was probably their best chance of the second half. Ball is flicked on for Dikwa. Coming across well again, Daly to punt it away. And the coming together with Greg and Jamal Johnson results in a Fresno FC free kick.
I want to see that attempt again, because certainly pressure being brought here. Wallfall puts the ball in nice here, dinks it up, goes in the middle, and off the top of his head, Carl Gregg's head, Carl Rainish punches it clear. Brilliant interception.
We see another look at that ball, and Rainish flying through to get his hand to it. So he continues to enjoy His regular run is number 1 for this Fresno side. Here's Dequa. He's been involved plenty. Pollock. Goal coming in the first half from Zach Ellis-Hayden. Striking from a long way out in off the post.
That's a golazo. No question about that. What was it, all of 30 yards out?
Brilliant.
Flew in, bent, hit the post. Gave Thomas Gomez absolutely no chance whatsoever.
Now Dakers a bit too far out in front of Pollock. Dakers frustrated with himself. This would be very much a reversal in form for both of these teams if this result holds. Fresno came in after 4 away matches with just 2 points, both against the Oklahoma sides, Tulsa and OKC Energy. Last time out losing by 2-1 away to LA Galaxy 2. Did not look nearly the threat that they have tonight. Particularly in the second half, they've looked very impressive going forward as Cheney, who's done terrific work this evening, earning the foul from Sean Reynolds.
Cheney does look such a good player, big and strong. Great touches, as we saw earlier when he chested that one down, flicked it over the defender and volleyed it. And only a decent save from Thomas Gomez stopped him scoring for Fresno. But yeah, very useful player up front if and when he gets the service.
This time will be a free kick for Fresno as Ellis-Hayden again flying forward. Maybe dealing with cramp a little bit there. Does earn Fresno a free kick. See how comfortable he is going forward. Dakers back doing the defensive work. Caught a bit too much of the right back in the judgment of the referee. Yep. Kind of gone his right foot there. And now Juan Pablo Caffa, who will fancy a strike from just about anywhere.
Only 2 in the wall for Juan Pablo Caffa. Wow.
Playing with fire there.
I think so, Carl. Thomas Gomez, I think so.
Does have plenty of options as well. 5 in the area for Fresno. For the captain, Caffa, scorer, 7 goals. Here is Caffa, who does play the cross, and instead, well dealt with there by Cavita, who got a little forearm shove there from Del Campo before rising to deal with it.
I'm just wondering if Juan Pablo doesn't have a crack at goals. With his left foot, he can bend it around those 2 in the wall. Could have been a nightmare for Thomas Gomez.
So on the 2nd minute of play, we hit the frame of Tomas Gomez's goal. About 25 yards out. The ball was located a bit more centrally. Couple of exchanges there. The center of the park does leave Fresno with the ball, but Ellis-Hayden unable to keep it in play. With a quarter of an hour left to play, can St. Louis find an equalizer? They've been on a terrific run of form, and they probably need to continue that run of form if they want to stay in the playoff places that they've arrived in after the win against Sacramento on Wednesday. Johnson, Cheney, first time ball attempted there from Cooper. Has eventually come to Cheney. And Ribeiro under a bit of pressure. You see St. Louis not showing the signs of playing 3 matches in a week. They are flying forward to try and win the ball back. Fitness levels up. And it's sort of the question, are you fully fit or are you hitting the wall mid-season? And it does seem like St. Louis, despite playing so many games recently, are still left with plenty of energy.
Yeah, well, they've got a couple of fresh players on, and they're making a big difference. Kyle Gregg and Kadim Dakers working so hard up front there for St. Louis to get them back into the match. And they've looked totally dominant in terms of possession and passing the ball. But we've had one wonder strike that separates the 2 teams at this stage, and a couple of really good saves from Carl Reinisch to keep St. Louis out. So it isn't the case of St. Louis haven't done a good job. They just haven't found a way past this goalkeeper yet.
Hilton tried to slide in Dequa. Well read there by Jamal Johnson. We have seen those wide midfielders coming inside to join in that defensive work. Kavita with a couple of nice touches, sliding down the line towards Dakers. Cut out well there by Del Campo. Kaffa nodding down for Jamal Johnson, who had Cheney available, but just a couple touches to make sure he can find the run of Argueta. Here's Argueta with Ellis Hayden bombing forward. He eventually gets played in. Here's his cross, plenty of loft in it. Kaffa can take it down. Now the other fullback, Cooper. Yellow temp service as well towards Cheney. Gomez got to it first. The strike comes in from Ellis Hayden. He was always going wide, and Cheney's touch falling into the path of Dikwa.
That was a good cross from Cooper out wide on the left and made it difficult for Thomas Gomez. And there was a bit of a scramble afterwards. So good play there from Fresno. Much more positive in attack. And I think we're set up for a wonderful last 13, 14 minutes or so with both sides going for it. Fresno trying to finish this game off and St. Louis trying to get themselves back into the game.
First change being prepared with Agustin Sazades, the Los Angeles native, ready to come on. As sent in by Pollock. Awkward there between Rainish and Del Campo. And I think Rainish was just taking blame for not communicating that. Would have been an easy catch in the end. Del Campo giving away a corner and appears to have injured himself in the process.
He does. Don't know if he's calling for cramp or if he's overstretched his hamstring, but you're right, the goalkeeper has to take control, and it's an unnecessary corner given away, and one that you, if you're a Fresno fan, you hope doesn't cost them. Let's have a look at it again. Even worse than that, it could have been a deflection into the goal. So
right.
Yeah, bit of a misunderstanding. And let's see what happens from the corner.
It'll be Lewis Hilton who will play it towards the edge of the area with Wall Fall. We'll stick it in that mixer, but it's Cooper. Gets it away. Sazada's still waiting. Pull it back for Gomez, who's well off his line. Here, Adam Smith yelling instructions. Fresno manager. Hilton. As it's a foul there against Ribeiro, and again, for a second time in the last few passages of play, complaints from the Fresno FC area, as it will be Roni Argueta who makes way for Sazanes, who was with Adam Smith at Sacramento Republic. 60 appearances for the club over the last 4 seasons in USL. Now making his 18th appearance of this season for Fresno. It will probably be like for like with Sazanes moving into the center of the park next to Ribeiro.
He's got an important job here with 10 minutes left. Cesares run, close him down, stop St. Louis getting any sort of flow going. You know, if you're Fresno, you don't want St. Louis to be creating opportunities, and that's going to be Cesares' job with the fresh legs to try and shut that down.
St. Louis still does have one change available, as Renato Bustamante getting ready to come on. Two would have to be like for like with a forward player coming on. As Dakers playing Pollock. Receiver will be like for like indeed, coming in for Cheney, who certainly put in a shift this evening. As the sliding challenge comes in towards Ribeiro. Barrera try and catch St. Louis up the pitch. Well taken there by Johnson. And now Cooper with plenty of space, charging on for Fresno. A couple of step overs. Cooper! And I believe Gomez got something on that. And you see there having a go at his defenders for leaving so much space for Alex Cooper.
Alex Cooper looking great down that left-hand side. I thought for a moment that had gone in. It was a fantastic build-up, lovely flick on from Juan Pablo Caffa to start that off. And then here, fantastic strike. And Gomez just getting that crucial touch around the post.
Might have been heading towards side netting anyway, but Gomez just about had it covered. And you saw there the frustration from Jamal Johnson. He wanted the ball played in there on the edge of the area, but Cooper feeling it, electing to strike as Caffa plays it in. The header comes in! Oh, and it just goes wide. I thought that for a second was Fresno's second, and I believe it was Cheney who got something on it, and that is his last meaningful moment of the match.
I think the free kick might have been given as well. I'm not quite sure if it's a goal kick or free kick.
Might want to be careful as well, touching the referee.
Yes.
But either way, that is the last action of this one for the Fresno native, Christian Cheney, who put in a terrific shift this evening, and it's the Peruvian Renato Bustamante who comes on.
Substitution for Fresno.
And Christian Cheney will certainly take his time coming off.
Christian Cheney.
Scorer of 5 goals this season, including in the last match against Galaxy 2. You see Adam Smith just having a little bit of an extra conversation.
Some words being exchanged back and forth there with Cheney.
His frustration with the referee, and Adam Smith continuing to have a conversation with him.
Maybe he didn't want to be taken off. Maybe he felt he could still give something for the last 10 minutes, but at least they have fresh legs up front now, Fresno, with Renato.
I believe he was, if I can do a bit of lip reading, I believe he said, I was running. I think he wanted more running out of his forward, maybe stop that build-up from Fresno, and now Bustamante will be asked to do that. Peruvian on his 18th appearance as well. 10 substitutes. As Kaffa will slide in Johnson, who's got plenty of space down that left-hand side. Got the run of Kaffa available. Goes outside of the boot. Kaffa gets a header on it. And the Argentinian might have done better just to leave it for Bustamante, who was arriving.
Yeah, it's a good move again from Fresno. They have looked a little bit sharper up front, but maybe it's because St. Louis are taking risks and pushing more bodies up. But good effort from Fresno to try and finish this game off.
As the last St. Louis sub just receiving his final instructions, it's Audi Jepson, the recent signing from Des Moines in PDL. As Jamal Johnson goes down, you saw just how intensely he was flying forward. You wonder if he's feeling the ill effects of that. And the final change for St. Louis will result in Audi Jepson coming on for Albert Diqua.
Some tired bodies out there now. It's been a hard game, well fought, a lot of effort, especially from Fresno. I think when, as we said, with St. Louis having the majority of possession, if you're Fresno, you're constantly running, closing down, you know, picking up the runners into deep areas. It's a tiring game when you haven't got the ball. And certainly Fresno put in a real shift here tonight.
Jamal Johnson, after that lung-busting run and going down, will come off. I wonder if that might have been prepared or as a result of him going down. It'll be the young Canadian Noah Verhoeven who will come on. There's the confirmation of the Audi Jepson change. He comes on for Diqua. What'd you make of his performance tonight, Albert Diqua?
I haven't seen enough of him to really say he's done well or not. I mean, to me, a player who does well is one that you remember straight away and you go, oh, well, he did this and this and this. Very quiet night for him tonight. Certainly, I've seen more from Kadeem Dakers and Carl Gregg since they came on. So, not his best, Albert Diqua, but only 22 years of age. So, he's a player who's growing in ability and experienced. And this man has had a fantastic season so far. Jamal Johnson seems like he is limping off.
You saw him grabbing at the back of his leg. Certainly not a sight that Adam Smith would want to see in the run-in. One of his key contributors coming off with an injury.
He doesn't look happy as well. When players don't look happy, that's a worrying sign that maybe they feel it's more than just a little knock, that it's actually something that could keep them out for a while. Very sportingly, Fresno give it back to St. Louis. Now, 4 minutes plus whatever at a time for Fresno to hold on to these 3 points, and suddenly their season takes on excitement again.
Gregg flicking on towards Dakers, cutting it back, and the referee waving away appeals for a foul on the edge of the area. There would have been another opportunity for St. Louis to strike from a dangerous area, but instead it will be play on.
Just from the league table, should Fresno hold on to this lead, are they then, what, 1 or 2 points off the top 8?
They would be 2 points off St. Louis, 1 point off of 8th place.
Wow.
In San Antonio, but San Antonio will have 3 games in hand at the end of the evening.
Okay, but they've got mostly home games to come, Fresno. So for Fresno fans, exciting time of the season.
No doubt. And some big opponents coming as well. Jepson just leaving there for Greg, but he wasn't alert to it. Certainly some interesting results around USL this evening. LA Galaxy 2 leading by 4-0 away from home against Sacramento.
Wow.
They have 4 in the first half at home for a team that's top half of the Western Conference. A bit surprising.
The Galaxy do this every once in a while. They have some amazing results one week, thumping the top teams and then struggling to the bottom teams.
4 in the first half. 4 different scorers as well. Aguilar, Zubac from the penalty spot, Angola, and Frank Lopez providing the goals. Frank Lopez on a terrific run of form for LA Galaxy 2. Real Monarchs just taking the lead on Tulsa Roughnecks. That's top v bottom of the Western Conference. Here's Lewis Hilton. St. Louis, despite winning 4 in a row, will not want to feel complacent. And again, Anthony Poulos asking for a foul. And with St. Louis so far up the pitch, Verhoeven couldn't run in behind because he would have been offside, even from just past the halfway line. We received word from the ground there will be 3 minutes to be added on at the end of the second half. Ellis Hayden. Fresno going to try and see this one out with possession. Rainish, though, sending long, and Wallfall can easily take down, but heavy running there from Verhoeven. Able to win it back for Fresno. Barrera trying to play it outside of the boot towards Bustamante, but gives away. Hilton now under some pressure. Hilton will take it down there by Jepson. It's a good ball from Hilton. He tried to poke into the path of Greg, but Rainish will come racing off his line and will claim.
Yep, Rainish will be very happy with his night's work. A couple of really important saves throughout this game. And you know, if your keeper makes important saves, you got someone like Ellis Hayden who scores a golazo from all of 30 meters, 30 yards. Yeah, it's a good night if you've got 2 players in that sort of form.
Certainly St. Louis will be encouraged by their upcoming fixtures, as will be a free kick here for the visitors. Home with Tulsa Roughnecks next, but still don't want to be giving away points. Certainly an opportunity to strike. They got a late goal to win in Reno. Got a late goal here to draw level in Fresno. Will be the left of Tyler Pollock, the newcomer to St. Louis. There's the confirmation of 3 minutes as Pollock will loft it in. Fink getting something on it. He scored the winner in Reno, but that one hitting the top of the goal.
Yeah, Fink doing really great to get on the end of it, but just can't direct it back into the danger area. And Fresno fans breathe a sigh of relief. They need these 3 points so desperately to bring their season to life, and Adam Smith knows it. With all the home games coming up for Fresno, there's a really good chance now they can get themselves into the top 8. And it's all starting here tonight. Thanks partly to that man there, Carl Rainish,
who's produced some magic. Kaffa. And now Verhoeven, who's shown plenty of his youthful legs. He looks eager to get the second. Cooper is over everyone. Away by Pollock, but straight in the path of Barrera, who cuts towards the byline. Barrera peeling it back. And Reynolds doing well to repel that cross. But it comes for a Fresno corner, and they can just see out these last 120 seconds of this one.
I just wondered for a moment there on Barrera's left foot whether he was going to have a crack at goal. He brought it onto his right foot to cross it, but he got such a lovely left foot. Anyway, they're 1-0 up still, Fresno. So as you say, keep possession and see out time. Going to play it short. Probably it's very common these days, play it short and then keep possession in the corner there. There you go. That's what everyone seems to do. Try and win the corner again. No, given as a goal kick.
And Bustamante tried to play it off of Pollock. The assistant was right there and gives a goal kick to St. Louis. My favorite part of that, by the way, was you really know you're time wasting when you're trying to adjust the corner flag. Just make sure the corner flag is in there.
Adam Smith in trouble for going all the way over to the assistant to add his displeasure to that of the players. I'm not sure what Adam could see from there that the linesman couldn't see from being right next to it, but oh well, you know what it is. It's the passion of being a coach.
At varying points in this match, both managers have been frustrated with these officials. As the ball will come here to Dakers. That's not going to beat Kyle Rainish on this evening.
You know, coaches getting upset with officials because the officials don't get the decision they want is very different from giving the wrong decision. And I'm not sure Adam could have seen exactly what was happening there. But again, it's, you know, it's your team, it's the passion. You're close to getting 3 points. Can't blame the coach for getting a little bit excited.
There's a free kick there in the center of the park as we're nearing the end of the minimum of 3 minutes to be added on. Gomez just saying, I'll play it, and Hilton will send it long. That's straight down the middle of that goal, and that should probably be the last meaningful action of this one.
Well, you said he played it long, and it was long. It was way too long. And that is it. Well done, Fresno. Points in the bag. There they are on their knees. They know that their season has come to life.
Fresno FC desperately needed 3 points tonight, and they get it through Zach Ellis-Hayden. They beat St. Louis FC by 1-0.
Yeah, fantastic goal. Golazo, one of the goals of the season from Ellis-Hayden. I'm not so sure we'll see a better strike than that. Well done to him, and a little bow for the goalkeeper, Kyle Rainish, for a couple of crucial saves. And a pat in the back for St. Louis, who dominated possession but couldn't break through the spirited Fresno side.
And for St. Louis, an end to the best run of form in the history of the club. 4 consecutive victories. There you see Anthony Poulos with a little positive word there for Zach Ellis-Hayden, who appreciates a little shove. Again, Anthony Poulos managed Ellis-Hayden at club level with Orlando City B, and he is our El Mexicano man of the match. And Poulos and Ellis-Hayden go back together the last 2 years with Orlando. You see there just the acknowledgement of Poulos, who put his team to the sword. And in the end, it is the only goal in this one. A wonder strike from Zach Ellis-Hayden gives Fresno FC a desperately needed 3 points. Its playoff race back on for the Foxes. It finishes Fresno FC 1, St. Louis 0. Encuentro aquí de los Zorros en casa cuando enfrenten a Reno 1860. The fans at Chukchansi Park celebrating 3 points in the bag for the host Fresno FC, who climb right back into the thick of that playoff race now. 1 point off the 8th and final playoff spot. Level with Swope Park Rangers. Swope Park Rangers with the tiebreaker on victories. But Fresno getting the goal from Zach Ellis-Hayden. And that leads us to our Zoom picture of the match. Zoom Imaging Solutions presenting the look at the celebrations after Zach Ellis-Hayden scores the goal. His teammates had to have been thrilled with that wonder goal.
Oh, wouldn't you have been thrilled to be part of that? What a strike that was. Absolutely is a golazo and a contender for goal of the season. No wonder they're all smiling and hugging him. Well done Zach Ellis-Hayden.
And that brings us to our full-time highlights. They're presented by Just the Tip. And it would get started fairly quickly. Second minute of the match, Juan Pablo Caffa off the frame of the goal.
Yeah, fantastic strike from the woodwork there by the lefty. You can see how he bends that. I thought Thomas Gomez had it covered, but nonetheless, wonderful strike.
And here would be the best chance for St. Louis of the first half. A double save from Kyle Rainish.
Yeah, from Wallfall and from Dikwa. Well done to the keeper.
And here would be the lone goal of this one. Ellis-Hayden playing in the path of Barrera, who would very patiently assess his options and give it back to the guy who initially slid him in, Zach Ellis-Hayden, who struck.
Oh, wonderful strike. It bends, comes off the post. He knows it's a cracking strike. When it came to me, I'm not sure he knew what he was going to do. It came on his left foot. He waited, put it on his right. Have a look at it again, the build-up. Barrera will come to him, watch, takes it, not quite sure, puts it on his right and goes, wallop. Sticks that right against the post, and you'll see it from Thomas Gomez's angle. Nothing you can do about that.
Inside of the post might be my favorite kind of goal. As here is opportunities in the second half. Barrera striking from a long way out, getting that back stanchion.
Yeah, a little bit off target. Nice strike from behind, but a little bit too high there. I thought the keeper had that one covered.
And Christian Cheney would have some very quality moments in this second half. Sliding there, Jamal Johnson, and nearly capitalizing on the other end of it.
Yeah, it comes off Cheney. The keeper gets a touch on it. Comes off Cheney just when he's about to score. He's the one who lays it off, gets back in the box, and somehow the keeper getting a touch on it takes it away from Christian Cheney.
And that, in the end, leaves us Fresno FC 1, St. Louis 0. A few more shots in the second half from St. Louis. They have most of the possession, but in the end, Fresno win 1-0.
They didn't do enough with it. You can see nearly 60% of possession, only 3 shots on target. It's the shots on target that count. Fresno had more of that. They got the goal and the crucial difference in the game. What a goal it was. So ultimately the 3 points, Chris, go to Fresno. And their season is alive. Top 8, here they come.
And Fresno, with 8 matches left to play, still in with a chance. They're next away to Las Vegas. And we'll look for 3 more points away from home as the players and the fans continue in the celebrations. St. Louis, meanwhile, back to the drawing board after winning 4 in a row. Lose this one and will take on bottom of the league, bottom of the Western Conference, Tulsa Roughnecks in their next match. That'll just about do it for us this evening from the Chuck Chansey Park. For our broadcast partner, Carrie Bailey, and our terrific USL crew, that will do it for us and myself, Chris Whittingham. The goal comes from Zach Ellis-Hayden. Fresno FC back into the thick of the playoff race. They win by 1-0 over St. Louis.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.